The big final segment, and it was the new AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson going to the ring to tumultuous applause from however many people were there in that giant cavernous arena. But he woke them up, and they like him, and they chant, "You deserve it," and yes, and the whole thing. And he starts real babyface, and he said, my daughter said, "Daddy, this was the best day of my life," when he won the title. And then my DVR froze. I forgot to record Modern Family, and we were at 10 o'clock, and I have no idea, because yesterday was Stacy's birthday, and I did not seek out the information, what he said or did after that. Can you help fill in the blanks?
He kind of said what we thought, well, what we talked about as an option during the review of the pay-per-view match. He is going to retire as a full-time wrestler. He's right now working without a contract, but he's not going to give up the championship. So he's going to wrestle until someone actually defeats him for the championship. And then he's going to go home to his kids who had such a great time that they still want him to come home as soon as he can.
Yeah, it was the greatest day of her life, but don't do that anymore.
His day too. I think he said it was the best day of his life too. So two members of the family had the same reaction. They both said, all right, it's time to end this. I guess you leave on top, very much like Seinfeld or the Beatles. But at that point on the video screen, his next challenger appeared, Jack Perry.
Oh, God damn it.
And Jack Perry was giving a very performance-based performance. I don't know, what do you say? A very actory performance, a very I don't believe you performance, a very this is ridiculous performance.
A very self-aggrandizing, dramatic portrayal of a wrestler, but not actually being one.
Yeah, very much like, why, Tony, are you still doing this? And then while the video is going on, he shows up in the ring behind Danielson and attacks Danielson.
Well, we've never seen that before.
So that's our next thing for All Out, apparently. It will be Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry.
Christ on a cracker. Well, apparently...
And someone wrote, and I can't unsee it now, someone wrote that he has T-Rex arms. And I know he's not a big overall, but now I can't unsee it. I can't take him seriously at all.
Well, also, Birdie won't... it looks like she's not going to get Daddy home as early as she thought, because yeah. Jack Perry ain't winning that title 2 weeks later, so... Good God.
What are your thoughts on... And we've seen examples of it before, or it was supposed to be that way before. I remember Ric Flair in WWF, the idea that I'm going to keep wrestling until I lose. Do you think it's a strong thing to use as a promotional tool, as a booking tool?
Well, yet now they're trying to make something out of what everybody already knows to be true. So that's not bad, in that Bryan Danielson is going to retire at some point imminently, that he does have a bad neck, that his family wants him to come home, but now he's got the title. So every match theoretically would be important, because this could be it. The jig could be up. But Jack fucking Perry to start out with, isn't that... It's kind of like a fucking gimme. They wouldn't be that stupid, would they? To do all this just for Jack fucking Perry?
We don't know what direction they're going in past this point, but we're talking about a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Now, although the Hangman Adam Page Swerve thing has a long backstory, if you were going to do a kind of a rush program just to have a pay-per-view main event, would that justify this?
At this point, why risk Danielson's tenuous health for a match that is not going to really sell any extra tickets? Because he really, if it was a work, fine, but he really is kind of fucked up. So why take any chances just for... I'm sure he wants to have a wonderful match with Jungle Jackoff and elevate him in the eyes of the beholders.
And by the way, it may not happen. It shouldn't happen. I don't think it'll happen, but don't think it's too crazy for Tony to put the belt on someone like Jack Perry. He took a beating from Jack Perry. And Jack Perry, nothing ever happened. He beat up the boss of the company, and that was it. There was no comeuppance.
Well,
and then he lost War Games by someone else giving up for him.
The comeuppance may be when they get the year-end financial statement, but so again, the world champion is wrestling Jack Perry. The biggest proven ratings draw in the company, MJF, is wrestling Danny Garcia. Yes, you should pick young wrestlers to push them and get them over and put them in main event spots, but not ones that are obviously for different but pretty much apparent reasons not ready for it or not going to be able to carry the ball if you hand it to them. While you gloss over many over the past 5 years that maybe could have done something if they had half of a legitimate chance. So it's just, but who's friends with the Buckaroos?
Well, that was AEW Dynamite from Champaign. Maybe they were drinking the champagne